Live. Hello, surprise everyone. We're starting a little bit early today, and thank you for being willing to do that. So it is 1:37 on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo for everybody that celebrates that. And so thank you all so much for being here. My name is Otis Landerholm. I am the founding attorney at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Thank you so much for being here. All right. And today you are joining us live. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, live on Instagram, live on TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us live. And we're talking about advanced U visa strategy today. All right. I want to talk about how to maximize the ability to use a U visa to help all of your family. So if you've got a U visa or if you're filing a U visa case, pay attention. We're going to talk about advanced U visa strategies. A lot of lawyers don't know this stuff, and so you want to really help. You want help to navigate all of your options if you're filing for a U visa. So welcome, and thank you all so much for being here. Remember, at the Empowered Immigrant Live, we are here to train, to teach, to inspire, and to empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration law and to make the most out of their lives, all right? Today, we're talking about advanced U visa strategies, how to help all of your family with a U visa. And my question for you is it time for you to come out of the shadows? All right, is 2022 finally your year to come out of the shadows? Because if so, let's do this. All right, let's do this. Time just keeps moving forward, doesn't it? And so it's like, there's no time like the present. If you have a case, if you might have a case, if you think there's a possibility that you might be eligible for something, let's talk it through. Let's start the process and see what we can do. Let's see what options are available. All right. Now, before we get into it, as always, thank you to everyone who asked your questions. We'll discuss this topic in English. We've got 30 minutes to do that, and then we'll move in and do this topic in Spanish. We are going a little bit earlier today. Thank you for your flexibility. And doing that today. We are going to be experimenting with some different times because we've got some changes in our firm's schedule. So thank you. And let's talk about the U visa. I'm going to jump right in. If you have a question, feel free to send it in. Okay? I've received a couple questions. We'll get to those. But if you've got a question, send it in. We'd love to answer any questions that you have. Okay? So before we get into it, as always, I want to talk about the basics. All right, so first of all, what is a U visa, right? We're all aware of what a U visa is. I've done other sessions in depth about the U visa. But the basics, right? A U visa is a visa. It's an immigration document that is given to certain people who have been the victims of certain crimes. All right, it's not fun to be eligible for a U visa. Let's call it like it is, right? It's never fun to have been the victim of a crime. Assault, domestic violence, rape, sexual violence of some kind, other types of harm, right? Kidnapping, whatever. It's not fun to have been the victim of a crime. But if you have been, you might have a way to fix your immigration case. Okay? The second requirement is you had to have cooperated with law enforcement in the investigation or the prosecution of that crime. All right? Third, you have to have suffered substantial harm as a result of the crime. And fourth, you have to be admissible, right? Admissible or eligible for a discretionary waiver. So all of that is the basics about U visas. We've done trainings on U visas. You can check that out. It's on YouTube. I'm not going to go through each of those elements in detail today. Today, we're talking about advanced strategies about, and some of this is things that you might not know. Some of these are things that lawyers don't even know, okay? And so you want to, anyway, so caution, if you've got a U visa or might have a U visa, talk with a lawyer who really does U visa cases, all right? We'd love to help you with that. We are experts in how to navigate U visas, all right? So you want someone who really knows how to strategize fully a U visa to maximize not just your ability to win a visa, but also that of all of your family members. So we're going to get into it, okay? We're going to get into it. And welcome. If you're just joining me, thank you for joining me. I'm Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Today we're talking for advanced strategies to maximize benefits for your family if you're applying for a U visa. Welcome to everybody on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. All right? So thank you all so much. So let me ask you a question, all right? Did you know that there is such a thing as a quote-unquote indirect victim that's recognized by U visa law? All right, did you know that? Now, I want you to think about this because we've used this to help families, all right? Imagine that your child was the victim of a crime. Got it? Hello, welcome everyone. Imagine this. Your child was the victim of a crime. Maybe they were assaulted at school, right? But imagine that your child's a U.S. citizen. So because they're a citizen, they don't need a visa. You following me? And you're like, well, that's horrible that they were the victim of a crime, but they don't need a U visa because they're a U.S. citizen. So there's nothing that we can do. You might think that. But imagine if you're the parent, right, and your kid is going through this. Imagine as the parent, you're undocumented. But you're like, screw it. I want my kid to get all the benefits that they can as the victim of this crime. So you know something? I'm going to call the police. I'm going to participate in every way that I can to help my kid out through this. They were traumatized by what happened. Heck, I'm traumatized because my kid just went through whatever they went through. Got it? In that instance, a parent can qualify, sometimes can qualify as what they call an indirect victim of the actual, it's almost like in place of the actual family member who was actually the victim of a crime, but it's got to be somebody in your immediate family. Typically, we're talking about spouses and children. Okay? And so, you need the qualifying relationship. It's not automatic, but sometimes this concept of an indirect victim, it can be a game changer. Right? So we've won cases where, I'll give you a case that we won. We won it years ago now, but, daughter was the victim of sexual assault years ago. All right? Years ago. Now the daughter's over 21. Right? And so, the daughter's like, hey, can I petition my parents because I'm a citizen and I'm over 21. So we're in the consultation. We're thinking, hey, let's look at that. But the parents are inadmissible. You got what I'm saying? It's like they're inadmissible. They had a permanent bar because they had left and re-entered the U.S. So, oh, bummer. They're inadmissible. They can't apply for a green card is what the 3 lawyers that they met with before coming to see me told them. Sorry, you've got a permanent bar, there's no case, right? Well, wait a second. Your daughter, U.S. citizen, got it. She was the victim of a crime 20 years ago as a child. And you helped? You, as the parent, called the police? You, as the parent, were helpful in the investigation of that crime? Okay, parent, You're eligible for the visa. Your daughter doesn't need one. You're eligible for a visa, and you know what? We can apply for your spouse. We can apply for your spouse's minor children, even minor children who are not in the United States. We can use your helpfulness in what happened to your daughter to qualify for visas for your whole family. Got it? You got to know about it. All right? You got to know about it. It is an option, and so many lawyers out there overlook it as an option, maybe because when you're asking about green cards, it often doesn't come up intuitively. Hey, were your children ever the victim of some horrendous thing when they were kids, and were you helpful with that in the investigation of that? But when it does come up, right, like if you have a lawyer that is willing to do a full intake process, then it's like, okay, we can fix the case. You got what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, good. Also, did you know that when you apply for a U visa, you can include your spouses and children in your application? We call this the I-918A. A as in apple. Okay? And if you have a child who is a U visa applicant, a child can also include parents and siblings. All right? As long as the siblings are under 18. They can include siblings under 18. And so, we've had it where one victim's U visa ended up fixing 6 people's immigration status at the same time. Like, the U visa comes with that kind of power. And you got to be aware of it. You got to be aware of it. These are advanced strategies for U visas. All right? The last point that I want to make today before getting into questions, all right, the old days, I want to, like before 2020, the law changed in 2020. In the old days, I would recommend anybody that's filing for a U visa, hey, you got any girlfriends? You got any boyfriends? Are you madly in love with somebody? Because, hey, for their benefit, go get married. Go get married. You can apply for your spouse to be included in a U visa. It's basically 2 U visas for the price of 1, right? It's like 2 U visas at the same shot. That can change somebody else's life. Yeah, you got to stay married to them throughout the process. Don't get married, don't get married just for immigration purposes. Get married because you love the person. But if you do love the person, you got to know about it. All right? And that's what I used to recommend in the old days, but in 2020, there's a case that changed the law, all right? It changed the law, so listen up, all right? Because now, if you file a U visa, even if you filed a U visa years ago, and now you get married to somebody that you love, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and now you're married to them, you can include a spouse in your U visa now, even if you weren't married at the time you applied. Got it? You can include your spouse's children now. As long as you married before the children turned 18, you can include them in a U visa now. All right? Even if they weren't your children or your spouse, right? If it's your spouse, when you filed the U visa. You got to know this stuff. This is interesting, right? It's like, how can we help as many people as we possibly can at the moment of our application? Okay? And I said that was the last point. That's not. There's actually one other one. There's one other one that I presented on, and people should know about it as well. If you've already won a U visa, and if you are getting married now, there's a different process to apply for what we call an after-acquired spouse. All right, it's a Form I-929. It's a petitioning process. It's not automatic. It's not easy, but it is possible. At that point, you would have to show extreme hardship to the U visa holder for why the spouse should be able to adjust through that same U visa, but it is possible. Bottom line is this, everybody. Bottom line is this. This is what I want to leave you with today. If there's a U visa, find creative ways to maximize that U visa, maximize that application to help everyone in your family that you possibly can. That's what I want you to do. Okay? And that's really my point today. That's really my point. So thank you for being here with me. If you're just tuning in, I'm Otis Landerholm. And I really, we've been talking about some complex U visa scenarios. I wanted to bring them up today. So now I'm going to pivot, right? I'm going to transition, and we're going to get into your questions. There are 2 questions that I've received ahead of time today. So thank you to everyone that sent their questions in. And if you haven't, but if you do have a question, hey, send it to me. All right, send it to me. And so today, my first question comes from Carlos. So Carlos, you say, hi, I need information regarding this. Can you please help me? I was deported in 2002, and I had an illegal entry back to the U.S. 1 day later. Then I was sentenced to 2.5 years of federal prison. My criminal sentence case was totally screwed up by my lawyer, and my parents are both citizens now, and I would love for you to see if I have a chance. Do I have a chance? Got it. Carlos, thank you for asking that question. You are not alone. You got to know that. You're not alone. You got a sad case. All right, you've got a permanent bar against you for illegally re-entering after a deportation order. That bar is a permanent bar, creates permanent inadmissibility. And after 10 years out of the U.S., you're allowed to request a waiver of it. Okay, we call it an I-212 waiver. And so you're allowed to request a waiver of the permanent bar. It is not automatic. It is not easy. And all of this will depend on what else may have happened in your process. Okay? So you now have 20 years, it seems like, if I'm reading it right, you have 20 years or so out of the United States. And so, so what I would say is, hey, the best first step, let's run your FOIAs. Let's get to the bottom of everything that happened in your immigration file in the past. Let's get to the bottom of what really happened during your federal illegal reentry case, and let's see what we can do. All right? Your parents can file petitions for you. Those cases take years and years. Worst case scenario, that would be the only way to do it. But sometimes there are other avenues. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if there's some other way. Maybe you were the victim of a crime back in the day. Maybe there's something else that we could try. But yes, Carlos, it is at least worth a conversation. It's worth a consultation. Give our office a call. We would love to talk it through with you. At least run your FOIAs. We could file the petition from your parents, and we can help you navigate what the chances are of being able to use that petition. Okay? You might need to be able to demonstrate that your parents would suffer extreme hardship if your waiver is denied. But there are options. Okay, so let's get to it. Good. All right, the next question that I have comes from Wilbur. Wilbur, thank you for asking your question. Wilbur, you say, hello, good afternoon. My name is Wilbur. I was deported from the United States in the year 2016. I was deported for a break-in entry and for possession of cocaine. All right? All right, I got it. Thank you. I would like to know if it is possible for me to apologize. My mother is a citizen, and so are my children. Plus, I was over 20 years with my permanent residency. All right, so I was in lawful status for 20 years. I have 2 children. One of them was over 18. One of them's under 15. And I've worked all my life. I have proof of all of my income taxes, all of my work. Please contact me as soon as possible. Very interested in your service. All right. Wilbur, wow, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'm going to jump right to it, that controlled substance offenses are not waivable. They are not easy to navigate, all right? The best way to do it, is to do what's called to explore, right? And I'd love to have you have a consultation. We can explain this in more depth. The best way is let's explore the possibility of doing what's called a motion to vacate, to reopen and then vacate the conviction, because the conviction against you will always haunt your immigration options, okay? If we could attack the conviction, if we could show that there was some legal error in it, if we could show that if we could show that you weren't inadmissible under the controlled substances ground, or under other grounds also, then that could lead to an option. It's not going to be easy, okay? But that is the way to do it. And yes, and we'd love to do a consult too and ask, about our topic for today, any option for a U visa, or could there possibly be any other avenue of relief? We would recommend starting with your FOIAs, reviewing that record carefully, seeing where, if any, errors may have happened in your original case, and seeing what we can do about it. Okay? So thank you so much. Those are the two questions that I got ahead of time. Let me see I think there's another one here. Okay, so Eduardo, you say hola, hello. Tiffany, I see you on Instagram, hello. Brazen, hello, welcome. And Miyajasu, happy Cinco de Mayo, hello, happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. All right, Alandi, I see a question from you. Hola, soy colombiano. I'll translate it into English since we're doing it in English, but I'll answer that question in Spanish when we do this in Spanish in just a few moments. So, hello, I'm Colombian. I'm suffering persecution because of the guerrilla in my country because of my sexual orientation. All right, I have proof. And what can I do? Can I request asylum at the border? Okay, I got it. So, Alandi, thank you for asking that question. That is how can I say this? Legally, ethically, I will not recommend, I don't recommend anyone to cross the border without permission, all right? I don't recommend doing that. The border is a nasty place to be right now anyway, very risky, very dangerous, things like that. And each person, yes, does have the right to turn themselves in, and I recommend if you're going to do that, if you're going to file asylum at the border, then come with a packet prepared, come ready to explain your case and your process. And so that is, anyway, that's my advice. That's my advice for now. I do go into more depth about asylum law. It sounds like you probably do have arguments. I go into that in much more depth in other trainings. I'd love and encourage you to reach out to my team. We'd love to talk you through it. Okay? All right, Miyajasu, thank you. You say, can a U visa be combined with another case, like a brother or sister's case or any other case? Answer, yes. All right, there are common doubts about this. There's common misconceptions about this. Immigration, you can file as many different applications as you think you're eligible for. If you think you're eligible for DACA, file it. If you think you're eligible for a U visa, file it. If you think you're eligible for asylum, file it. If you think you're eligible for family-based adjustment of status, file it. File all four, all right? And boom, we'll fight them all. We'll fight them all, right? You can do that. One doesn't cancel out the other unless you win them, all right? If you win one and then end up getting a green card through it, then they'll say that all those other ones, you don't need them anymore. In fact, a good lawyer will withdraw all the other ones and let them know, hey, we've won the first one. We don't need these other processes anymore. Okay? But there's no problem in applying for multiple things. I want to clear that up for everybody right here, right now. Okay, N.S. Mohammed, how about adding siblings as derivatives? Thank you for asking. So if we're talking about U visas, which was the topic of today, U visas, you can add siblings if you're a minor. If you're under 21, applying for a U visa, you can include siblings under 18. Got it? You can't include siblings who are 19, 20, and 21. I don't know why. But you can include siblings that are under 18 if you are a minor applying for a U visa. If you are over 21, then you can no longer include minor children. Minor siblings. You can include children, all right, but not siblings. Hope that was helpful. All right, Natalie, hello. You say, when does immigration reform come out? Do you believe that before the elections in November something comes out? We'll cross our fingers on it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. All right? Let me say that again. I'll cross my fingers that Congress will finally get something together to move immigration reform forward, but I'm not going to hold my breath about it because they've been trying this and they're just totally deadlocked. And yes, I've seen Senator Durbin try to get some movement on Capitol Hill. So, hey, if they can put something together, great. But I don't see a lot of, I don't see and feel that Congress is really taking it seriously, just to be completely honest about my thoughts about it. Okay? And if they surprise us, hey, I'll be celebrating. I will be seriously celebrating. But I'm a little bit disappointed in our congressional officials right now. So there you have that. There you have that. All right. If you are a client of our firm, we've got our client appreciation party coming up on Saturday, the 14th of May. So if you're a client of our firm watching this, you'll be receiving an invitation. We are sending texts and emails out for that. We love our clients. So come to our client appreciation party. We'll have tacos, we might have some music. We're going to make it fun. I might play a silly song on the guitar if I get enough people to convince me. It's going to be great. So, and if you're not our client but you want to be, heck, give us a call. We'd love to help you. So I'm Otis Landerholm. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thanks also to everyone who asked their questions. If you found this video useful, hey, please give us a thumbs up to this video. Please, subscribe to our channel in YouTube, all of that good stuff. We love everybody that attends these live sessions. Like, thank you so much for being here, right? And so, like our video on YouTube, thank you. And, if you have an immigration case, hey, we are here to help. We would love to help you. Give us a call. We'd love it if you came through our consultations process. El Pollo Jalisco. Hello. Thank you. And Natalie there, thank you. Thanks to everybody on Instagram. Thanks to everybody on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Love you all. That's it for today. We'll see you on the next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. I'm your host, Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. We'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye. And if you speak Spanish, we'll start in Spanish in just a moment. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.